To add a page header or footer, just right-click outside the design surface of a report and select either Add Page Header or Add Page Footer. So I'll go ahead and add a header, and I'll add a page footer. And notice that I now have options to remove those if I choose to do that later. And as you can see, the design surface has expanded to accommodate those areas. Then you can add whatever allowed content you want. So I'm going to come over here to the toolbox and drag a text box here. And I'll put it there, and I'll make it the full width of the report. And I'll change it to Customer Contact List. Then I'll select the text box, and I'll bump up the size of the font a little bit. Let's make it 14, and I'll center it. And then with that, I can preview the report. And you can see that I have the page header. And it appears on every page. Here's page 2, and page 3, and so forth. All right, then I'll also add something to the footer. So I want to put the overall page number. That's really pretty easy to do. I can come here to Report Data. I have these built-in fields. And I can drag the overall page number here directly into the footer. Notice that's a convenience. The report designer will create a text box for me there and set the value of the expression to that global overall page number. In fact, if we look at the expression, we can see that it's using that globals collection and the overall page number. And then it shows the abbreviated version of that, the ampersand overall page number within square brackets. Okay, I'll once again preview that. And scroll down here, and you can see that we have a page number. And clearly in a real report, I probably would want to emphasize that somehow, saying page number or page number 1 of 10 or whatever it might be. All right, go back over to Design View. Now, if the overall height of the header or footer is just too much space, it comes with a default setting of roughly an inch or so. Then you can drag the bottom borders up or down of each to adjust the height. So I can move the cursor until it's the double-headed arrow, move that up, and I still probably want a little bit of space before my table starts. And then I can move up the bottom here, but notice that I can only go as far as the bottom of any contained elements. So if this is still a little bit too low, I can move this up a little bit and reduce that even further. Because the smaller I make this area, the more space on the fixed page size, unless I adjust the page size, is going to be available for this report. And furthermore, I can also do that and get rid of some of the extra space down there. And then just for fun, I'll also left justify that. All right, so we can preview it one more time. And you can see that we have less space here. It's up against the top margin, which is still set to an inch. And then I'm also taking up less space at the bottom here, and the bottom margin is also still an inch. So for a report like this, I'd probably want to reduce the top and bottom margins as well, because that's a little bit excessive for the amount of content that's showing on the page. Okay, and then there's other properties that you can access. So if I want to look at footer properties, I can right-click on footer, and there's an equivalent dialog box. All the options are the exact same for a header. This happens to be for the footer. And I have the option to turn it off for a particular page. I can opt to print it on the first page or not the last page, move those. I can also change the height there if I want to directly. And then I can also specify a fill and add a border if I want to. And as usual, I can use an expression to set a lot of those different properties that affect the size and how the footer appears. And the same thing for the header.